Focus Plumbing, always at your fingertips.
Pow! Danny Vegas time. You love that, don't you, Lisa?
I do.
You
That
love
just
it.
gets me every time.
That gets me a lot of free drinks. I walk into bars and people go, pow! All right, Danny Vegas time. Danny Vegas World. We are loving live here, baby, because we have Lisa King on the show as hashtag One Lucky Gal, hashtag The Black Widow. In fact, if you want to know more about Lisa, her bio is quite extensive. I barely got a high school. There's a lot of words there, man. I mean, you have been everywhere on everything, and we're loving it. So let's not waste a lot of time because we're going to talk about the big MMA event that's coming up in a couple days. But I want to talk a few MMA things, and if we roll into segment 3 on this, so be it, because it's very rare that we get to get an insider. Now, here's what I see from the outside looking in.
Okay.
I tend to remember the days of Ronda Rousey.
Sure.
And it's kind of interesting how the hype was and how the crash was. Kind of reminded me of when Mike Tyson was winning and winning and winning, then went to Tokyo and lost that one fight, and then all of a sudden the whole thing changed.
Sure.
But I have noticed lately that the women's game, and I could be wrong, just doesn't seem to be at that level it was before. Is that because the hype? I mean, that gal was hyped so much that you could almost predict what was going to happen.
Sure.
Is it different now because the personalities are not there? Is it different there because you just don't have this beautiful flowing white gal who's very marketable to the world? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think you touched on some great points, and I think that it's a great question. I think, Gina Carano and Ronda, really, and Misha Tate, putting women on the map.
Right.
I mean, it was huge. After we did Fight Girls, Gina moved on to MMA. She transitioned, and I think Ronda had indicated that she got into it after watching Gina. So
Right.
You always need that one to pave the way, and so that everybody has had their place. What is most interesting is I think it was 2006, 2007, Dana
Right.
was saying there's absolutely no way women
No
are
way.
ever going to fight, ever, ever, ever. There was a piece in Time magazine, they actually quoted me saying, yeah, not so much, it's going to happen, just watch. Wait till they
Right.
see the fan base and whatnot. So Ronda came around, there was a lot of PR, a lot of marketing, and what you touched on was key. There was a personality similar to Conor,
Right.
where you've got, love or hate her, you're still going to watch because you want to know what that end game's going to be.
Right.
And, you just said, was it that we just don't have that long, flowy? Yeah, we do. You've got Holly Holm, who couldn't be any more beautiful.
Yes, but she hasn't won a fight lately.
Okay, well, she's up against people like Chris Cyborg.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a force to be reckoned with.
That's a tough gal. I watched that fight.
Yes.
I got a free stream. Thank you, whoever did that on Facebook.
So I do think that you've got the fighters. You've got the quality of fighters. You might not have the marketing dollars behind these fighters like they did with Ronda because they knew her persona, their I can't be beat, became, like Conor, where people were just like, ooh, I want to know, can she be beat? So I do think that it's there, and I know that the fan base, I mean, it's opened up more, more weight classes now.
Right,
so you've
right.
got the smaller fighters, and, you've seen them on Dancing with the Stars. You've got
Right.
Michelle Watterson, who's
Right.
making her mark. And, I mean, I definitely think that now people know that it's not just men who do it.
Right.
It's women. We go toe-to-toe. We bring the action. It's nonstop, because they're smaller.
Right.
There is more action, versus the heavyweights. They're going to have
Right.
different types of knockouts. So
Right.
I think that you haven't seen a hype like Ronda because they haven't probably put the dollars behind Ronda like they have with these other fighters. But I think it's coming.
There's no doubt. There's
You're right.
always another one. She's probably about 10 right now.
Right,
She's probably
exactly.
10, and she's playing soccer on the weekends, but she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. God, I can just go on forever on that. Let's talk about Conor McGregor.
Okay.
From the outside in again,
Sure.
we got this cat.
Mm-hmm.
Talked his way.
He's an alley cat who talked
His way. Got
Right.
got Floyd into a ring.
So hashtag brilliant.
Hashtag brilliant.
Brilliant.
Literally talked the guy out of retirement
Right?
to come and have a fight,
Yep.
a boxing fight,
Uh-huh.
and he walked away with $100 million.
Yeah. Petty cash.
Now, like I said, it was a genius because
Sure.
he literally, just literally cattle prodded him back into a ring.
Right.
Is he excited about coming back to MMA and say, okay, I'm going to make $2 million and I might lose?
Sure.
But, hey, I did good enough in that ring where I'm respected.
Right.
No one really expected me to win. I had nothing to really lose.
Sure.
Now I'm going back in MMA where I got these hungry guys that want to take it all,
Right.
and I want to walk out on top. I don't want to go in there and get caught in the choke because, some guy got lucky or got
Right.
caught with an uppercut or something. What is he going to do?
Well, if he was brilliant enough, in my opinion, this
Mm-hmm.
is simply my opinion, but if he was brilliant enough to talk Floyd out of retirement to do a fight that he wasn't really even training for, as you said, with nothing to lose, I mean, he's not going to stop. I mean, there's no way. There's no way. There's too much money on the line. He'll come back. He'll do other fights or, if he loses, he loses. Yes, I understand the whole idea is to, come out unscathed, but there's just too much opportunity. He always was a personality.
Right.
He went in there, had nothing to lose. He was still willing to put it on the line to go up against Floyd to win that $100 million.
Right.
The way he's spending, look at his Instagram, his social media. That $100 million is going to dwindle. He's going to bring and need more cash.
Well, that's amazing to me because I predict if he was smart, Floyd was the perfect fight. 40-year-old retired guy, hadn't fought in a year. There's some guys in the boxing world that probably would have cleaned house with him. The MMA world, I think there's a lot of hungry lions there just waiting for that old fat man to come rolling back in here, living large for a year or two. And I just see him coming back in a different role. I don't know if he'll put that legacy on the line.
See, I think he will come back. And maybe there is a different role, but I still think that it'll include fighting. I don't think that he's just going to step away forever. He's too young. He's too
Right.
hungry. He's too talented. So there'll be more of him, more to come. I'm sure he'll be in movies. I mean, that's
yeah.
the next transition.
Right.
So, I mean, you've seen it all. You've seen Rampage do the A-Team and then come back and
Right.
fight. I mean, everybody in that realm has done it. I can't imagine Connor's going to give it up.
Well, we shall see. Now, we got a couple minutes left. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, the smartest thing would be to get Floyd to do a rematch and go for another $100 million. I mean, if that was a possibility.
Well, that's a possibility. Very interesting. Okay, Joe Gamble, I just want to keep this going because we got more things to talk about. I want one more topic, then we're going to talk about this big event that's coming up.
Sure.
Okay, we talked about before the show, with all the stuff that's going on with women demanding respect in the workplace. We went from, and I always wondered, are we talking about the monsters that we know exist? Or are we just talking guys like me that just do bad passes all the time? What are we talking about here? But you're on the inside of the MMA. I'm gonna be a man here. You're blessed with some gorgeous looks. You're in the testosterone world. You were in it. You know girls that are fighting in it. But at this point, we have not heard of any men who are monsters in MMA. Wow, all that M stuff going. We have not heard it yet.
Right.
Is there a reason for that?
I mean, I don't have the inside scoop on it, but I could just tell you that, I think that if you're, if you're talking about Hollywood and you're talking about people who are, unknown, trying to be on the big screen, making $2 million, $20 million deals, they might have ventured into positions, because there's a big payout. There's
Right.
not those payouts yet.
Right.
In Muay Thai for sure, or boxing,
Right.
or yet MMA for the
Right.
most part. I mean, there's some purses out there, but I don't see it right now. There's too many hungry fighters that they just don't have to put that out on the line and ruin their reputation.
Right.
I think that the other thing that might be different, maybe, I mean, in Hollywood, you're going to have some very aggressive people. But, for me personally, and I have a lot of friends in the MMA world,
Right.
I just don't hear it. And maybe, when I teach women's self-defense classes, the one thing I always say is, look like you've got a purpose. Look like you're not a victim. A person who's probably going to do that is going to go after maybe an easier target, if you will. Not the one that says, hey, what are you doing, and call you out on it. It's a different Different.
I would think, and like I said, you're really the only woman fighter that I know, but I would think most men, even men that are in the fight game, I think there's an intimidation factor. I think there is this woman fights for a living. She takes punches to the face. She gets kicked in the face. And she gets up and keeps fighting. I think for most men to be overly aggressive in the sexual part, I just think it just doesn't happen because it's intimidating. I think there's just too much intimidation there. And I think the men who would be overly aggressive in that department, boy, they got a lot of confidence or something, because I know the mindset of most men when it comes to women fighters is, hey, she's not going to cave. I'm not going to be able to pull this line on her and have it work. And she's just like, well, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to lose my job, or I felt scared. I don't think you're going to happen with female fighters. And I think that's why, for the most part, except for maybe some guy at a bad pass at a gym, it doesn't go any farther than that. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I think that we probably, people will often say, you're kind of like a guy. I mean,
Right.
how I talk, my mannerisms, the things I do. I'm used to growing up in a gym. I've been in a
Right.
gym setting for 20 years. So
Right.
if someone's going to throw something foul or obscene back, I'm probably just going to throw it back on them instead of going, I can't listen to it. So, it kind of takes the appeal away.
Right.
They're like, oh, I can't really razz her. So, I might as well just join her.
Just join them.
So, yeah.
Let's just be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Shot down in flames, baby. Anyway, let's talk about this event.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to talk about the event now. It's happening in 2 days. Joe Gamble, we got a piece of collateral for that. Lisa, you're neck deep in this event that's coming in 2 days. Tell us about it.
So what we're talking about is Real MMA, which will be at Sam's Town on Friday, January 26th. The doors open at 6 and the fight begins at 7. And, what's nice is it's a local promotion put on former Assemblyman Brent Jones. Rudy Morales is a fighter, and he's also the matchmaker for
Right.
this. But we've got 14 fights on the lineup.
14, that's a big card.
Well, it's a big card, and
Right.
you've got everything from Muay Thai and MMA. So for those that are just like, nope, I only like MMA, then you'll be fine. For those that love Muay Thai, you've got that as well. And I kind of like to refer to it as a circus. I show up as a ring announcer, but I kind of feel like I'm the ringleader.
Right.
There's always something crazy going on there. So and the fights are good. The fights are really, really good.
They're really, really good. In fact, let's show that B-roll of maybe it was last year's event where it sounded like the American Psycho went psycho.
He didn't let us down.
All right, we got these. Now, if you watch the clip here, we got these guys brawling, and now it's a different type of ring.
It is. So MMA usually has a cage, but it's kind of hard unless you're watching it on TV to
Right.
see at an event. So they kind of made the ring a little bit smaller, and then
Okay.
they put ropes, so it forces fighters to have to fight. They can't be climbing on the walls. I mean, you've got
There's you.
entertainers, yeah, that show up. I remember him. He was performing at the Bellagio, and he
Right.
just showed up that night. But yeah, it really presses the action, and
Right.
you've got a lot of gyms here in town. You got you've got Extreme Couture. You got Wanderlust Gym here. You've got we've got Fosse, a little bit of everywhere. So it's a talented Las Vegas.
Right.
And it's always guaranteed a good time. The knockouts are pretty fabulous.
Oh, here's
Here
the
you go.
American Psycho. Oh, okay. That's me right there. Oh, there I go. I was dressed as Elvis that night, and I told American Psycho that I was more psycho than him, and he didn't like that. So, so that is this Friday. Where do we get tickets? How does it all go down? 'Cause this looks like a lot of fun. And I took my wife to a fight one time, and I found out something. She loves watching people get punched in the face. So take your wife. Believe me, it'll be a good time.
So you can log on to Ticketmaster.com. You can go to Sam's Town, get tickets at the door, and general admission's only $25. So it's really, really affordable.
It's really cool. So we got one more segment left. We got to talk about the Stratosphere, the big event. Lisa's neck deep in that too. We'll be back right after this.